Welcome to Wellness with Missy. I'm Melissa, your host, and on this week's episode, I'm showing you how to make gazpacho soup. It's the perfect summertime soup. It's a great dinner appetizer idea. It's loaded with antioxidants. I love that I can use local ingredients. It's also a healthy weight loss meal. If you enjoyed watching this week's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So I've already prepped all the stuff that I'm going to be using today in this recipe. I have celery, cucumbers, tomatoes, cilantro, apple cider vinegar, some salsa, olive oil, lemon, and some red pepper seeds. I'm just going to be using my Black & Decker blender, so you can make this with any blender that you have. If you have a Vitamixer, that's fine. If you just have a simple blender, it will work too. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to start adding the tomatoes into the blender. I cored these tomatoes before I cut them up, so you can always do that. I love that these tomatoes are local and fresh, so this is going to be really, really good. I'm excited for it. This recipe is for 4 servings. If you're having a dinner party, you could probably make a bunch of little servings. I usually make 2, my husband and I will eat 2 bowls, and then the next night I'll make the other 2, I'll heat it up in my pot on the stove with some vegetables. So first we're gonna add in all of the tomatoes. I know it looks like a lot of tomatoes and it's going to taste so good, but I'm going to pulse this just for a few seconds just so we can get a little bit more room in our blender before we add in the other ingredients. Okay, now that we pulsed the tomatoes for just a few seconds, I'm going to add in my celery. If you have 2 large celery stalks, that would be perfect. So we just added the celery now to the tomatoes. Now we're gonna add cucumber. This is 1 cucumber. If it is pretty large, you could do about 1/2 of a cucumber or just 1/4 of a cucumber. Instead of using Tabasco sauce, I'm going to use apple cider vinegar and some red pepper seeds. So this is about a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, and I have some red pepper seeds. You can add more after you taste it if you want it more spicy, or less if you don't. Now I'm gonna add in extra virgin olive oil. It's about 1/4 of a cup. Now I'm just gonna add in 1/4 cup of salsa. This is a very light, medium flavored salsa from Thrive Market. I love it because it's a little chunky, but it has the bell peppers in there, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, and some other seasonings. But it's very, very light, and it just will give your gazpacho soup a little bit of flavor and kick. And then I'm gonna add cilantro. You can also garnish the gazpacho soup with cilantro. I will do both. I'll add it in because I love cilantro. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I put cilantro in my smoothies. But I'm gonna put some cilantro in. It's probably a good handful of cilantro. And I also will top it with cilantro. I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into it all. So now that all the ingredients are in the blender, I'm going to cover it, and we're gonna pulse it for maybe 10 seconds, blend and pulse. If you want it more chunky, don't blend it as much, maybe in the beginning or even at the end. And then once it's done, we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 2 hours. Maybe about 15 minutes before you're gonna serve it. I also would put the bowls that you're gonna serve it into the freezer just so they get a little chilled, so then you can put the chilled gazpacho soup into the bowls. It just makes it a lot more fresh and chilly. Today I'm gonna garnish the gazpacho soup with cilantro and almond yogurt. If you'd like, you can also add cucumbers and avocado. If you enjoyed watching this week's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends and your family. And until next time, eat well, feel good, and be happy.